How's it going, Ding Dongs? Welcome back to Ding Dong Drift. We've got a lot of new viewers because of the wide body video, so welcome everyone. You're now Ding Dongs. That's what you're called here on this channel. So if you're new here, this is my SC400 manual swapped link ECU. You can go take a look at older videos to see everything that's been done. The thing we're working on now though is the wide body. So as you can see, the front is completely finished. It's been fiberglass, same as the rear. It's nice and rigid, nice and strong, nothing wrong with it. I already went drifting with it. Everything's fine there. I ended the last wide body video with the wide body just being fiberglassed, and that's where it stands right now. So the last thing I did to it was add another layer of epoxy just to smooth it out and get rid of any other dry spots or anything in the fiberglass. And now I've just been sanding it, but I'm not gonna film that because it's just literally bunch of sanding and body filler. Nothing really interesting to see there. The thing I want to work on today though, this big gap here. So obviously I am not going to leave this. This looks terrible. So let me show you what I'm going to do there. So this is the OEM 97 Plus side skirt. It goes behind the door, but yeah, it goes like this. You get the idea. Obviously it's not long enough or not wide enough. So I 3D scanned this area when I made these little triangles to, if you remember in the last video, I made these little triangles to fill this space so this whole area is nice and rigid and attached to the car and not just flopping around. I used that same scan to create a side skirt extension. This is that side skirt extension. Printed it in 2 pieces, melted it together here in the middle, and it goes like that. Pretty simple, just like that. Fills the space perfectly, contours to the original shape of the side skirt. There's a little indent here, and that follows through to the designs. So while that side is drying, I have the other side already done and glued on. You see there's no screws in it or anything, it's already glued on. So I'm just gonna sand it now and lay some fiberglass over it.
Hello, hey Tracy with the good heels on. Let me tell you about my day, it won't be real long. Woke up to a Red Bull before I wash my face. I'm gonna need all the energy if I'ma see this day. Work hard, play hard, work hard, repeat. Free soul, repetition, so hard for me. I focus on payoff and often that don't come round. And I can't be myself too often, I feel dumbed down. Starting to recall more frequent daydreaming now. Was all I won't get is out of town. But I'm here for now. As soon as I get off, I'm gonna kick it with all the homies. My one piece of relief, I be needing the ones that know me for real. I used to love Saturdays, them was my energy pill. Cartoon and cereal time, it ain't take too much to live. My 20s been a good time, I wish they never would end. But I would give up my prime to be a kid again. Kids just wanna have fun all day.
All right, so I flipped the piece over because this kept on sticking, it kept pulling down. So I flipped it over so that it stays down because I wanted to wrap around that edge. And everything else seems to be good. The epoxy is taking a little bit longer to set because it is a little colder. The previous times I had it heated up next to my printer, so it was pretty warm. But this time, just had it at room temperature. While it's setting now, any spots that like unstick or something, now's the perfect time to get those to stay, because it's gonna slowly get harder and harder and harder, the epoxy, a lot stickier too, so it's the perfect time to get all the stubborn edges to actually stay stuck. While that's fully curing, because it's gonna take a while, I'm gonna answer all of the most common questions that you guys have been asking, because there have been quite a few. So obviously you can go back and watch the older videos because this has been a process that's been going on for quite a while now. I started 3D scanning the car, I think last year. Then the design process took months, and then the printing process took weeks, and then now we're here basically putting it on the car. So the number one question that keeps getting asked everywhere on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere is, why didn't I just print a mold and right away make the pieces out of, you know, fiberglass or carbon fiber, or carbon Kevlar or whatever. Basically, either way, it would take just as long. The end result that I'm going towards is carbon Kevlar. So if you don't know, this entire kit will become carbon Kevlar. However, I'm not printing mold because of 2 reasons. If you were, say I was to print a mold, go through the work of, you know, combining all the pieces into a one, because I would have to print it out of pieces. So first I have to put all the pieces together, fix all the seams, smooth it out, strengthen it, and then basically prep it for fiberglass. That's a lot of steps and a lot of materials. It's also way more 3D printing because I would have to print, I can't just print the piece thin like I did here. I would have to print it with a flange. I'd have to print it with thickness so it's rigid. So it's just way more plastic, way more epoxy. It's basically a lot more work. And then once I go through all that work, say I make the piece and it doesn't fit, then what? So then I have to make adjustments to the mold, remake the mold. So you get where I'm going with this? It is way easier, way less work to get the piece on the car, smooth it out, get it fitting perfectly, get it lining up with everything, and then pull a mold off the piece. That's what I'm gonna do. So once everything is completely done, it's all smoothed out, it's all shiny, nice and painted, I'm going to pull a mold off of these parts. So the front fenders obviously is going to be pretty easy. Just take them off, add a flange. It is going to be a multi-piece mold because there's an inner flange inside the fender and all that stuff where the mounting is. So that's going to be difficult, but the rear is not going to be that hard. So if you've ever made a mold, you know that you need a flange. So the flange is literally just going to be attached here, going along the edge, big wide flange going like this. I'm going to use this part as the flange and then just add to it here. And then literally just flange, flange, flange all around. Super easy, way easier. Hopefully that answers that question. Back in the day, companies would make a piece, shape it with, you know, foam or body filler or whatever, and then pull a mold off of that, because that's just the easiest way to do it. It's the most efficient way to do it. Now, if I was making something small, fuck yeah, I'd print a mold. That's what I did with my shifter. My shifter, it's a small piece. It took a day to print all of the molds for this, and yeah, this is all forged carbon. This is all forged carbon. These are all molds that I made, and then I compressed them in the vise and made this whole shifter thing. Go check out that video, it's pretty sweet. But for something this massive, it just doesn't make sense to print a whole mold and then just hope it fits, because you don't know if it will. Could be an error in your scan, could be an error in your model. There is actually an error in my model. There's an indent here that's just not supposed to be. I don't know why. And then also this piece I had to chop off because it was sticking out past this area where I didn't want it to. Another comment I see a lot is, am I going to do a rear wing? And the answer is yes, a very, very large rear wing. It is going to be gigantic and I cannot wait. Basically, the rear of the car is going to have the most insane transformation that I think you have ever seen on YouTube. These rear quarter windows, not putting those back in, these are going to become a Flying Dutchess. Think of the Ford GT, how it has those holes that go around inside. I'm gonna do that. So it's just gonna be this giant intake that will feed the radiators in the back. Also, no rear glass because radiators. You know the Koenigsegg Jesko, how the wing is attached to the roof? I'm going to do that. I'm going to attach the wing off of the C-pillars. I don't know if I'm gonna first do it in 3D, try to figure out a way to make it look decent, but I think, just thinking like this nice shape, just follow that shape, and then here, like that. So imagine that, and then the wing up here. You get where I'm going with this? Yeah, it's gonna look sick. Probably wondering why these holes are here. Well, these are gonna be the radiator exits. I saw in a Jimmy Oaks video, the guy in Ireland made a V-mount radiator that was stacked like this. This is where my Flying Dutchess come in. Flying Dutchess, feed the radiators, and then the ducting will exit out through here. Because I hate it when drift cars have like holes everywhere cut out and there's just holes everywhere on the back. I think it looks terrible. I don't want to do that. So that is why I designed those exits. Inspired by like a RCF GT3 car, I think. I don't remember where I saw it. Those holes, I don't know what they're gonna do because they're kind of close to the wheel. The tire's right there. So yeah, they might just like push air to get the smoke out and away from the car. The most controversial question is the space. Why am I running 93mm spacers? Why didn't I just get 18 by 12-inch minus 90 offset wheels? Short answer is it's still just a drift car, and I can't drift a 355 or a 385 tire. That's just not going to happen. No one does that. People mostly just run 285s. So that's the main reason. You just can't drift with a giant wheel like that. And then people were telling me, oh, the bearings are going to go bad. Well, if I had low offset wheels, it would exert the exact same force on the bearings as a spacer would. So that's a moot point. So then the other option is to run completely custom or create completely custom extended arm. That would be cool, but if you look, the SC is a multi-link in the rear, and you see that black arm coming from the front to the back? So imagine I extended the knuckle all the way here. So that arm now has to completely change its angle. So I have to make a new subframe mount for it. I have to redesign the knuckle mount because the angle is now completely different. You get where I'm going with this? It's not as simple as just extending the arms and axles. There's a lot that would need to change, and it would be very expensive, not viable. And if I ever crash, bend an arm, I have to pay up again and get more custom arms made, which is just insane. No one does that. That is ridiculous. People just run spacers. Go to a Formula Drift event, look at the cars. Almost all of them are running gigantic spacers because you just need to run these wheels. You need to run regular size wheels to fit regular size tires. That's it. There's no other way around it. I think that's it for most of the questions that I saw. If you have any other questions, just let me know. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. But for now, just gotta wait for this epoxy to dry. All right, the epoxy's fully cured. As you can see, I trimmed all the edges, same as my wide body. I like to trim it right before it's completely cured. It's got like it's like a little bit soft, but not completely sticky. So I did that already with a blade. So now I'm just gonna give it a quick little sand just to get all these sharp edges off and then mount it on the car. We'll see how it looks. Well, it's on. Gotta say, it looks pretty sweet. It really ties in the whole wide body, makes it look like a finished car instead of this weird, like compared to the other side, like that looks really weird. Huge gap. You can see the half the wheel. This really fills it in nicely. So in this video, I'm not gonna do any of the sanding or anything because I wanna do it together with the wide body panels. As you can see, I am currently in the process of sanding those. Like I said last time in the video, there's a big dent right here that I'm fixing. It's a little bit indent here, and then this big problem area, which is pretty thick with Bondo already. So lots of sanding. I'm using like a nice big flat sander, this thing. Try to get it nice and even. That way I don't put like another indent somewhere else on the panel. Have the other side fiberglassed as well. That is still drying. Next video will be hopefully the wide body completely smoothed out, everything sanded, maybe painted, we'll see. I have this whole week off and next week off, so I'm gonna be working on the car a lot, but I also have some house projects I need to get done. Trying to juggle time. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Welcome everyone. I created a playlist, all the wide body videos, so the design process, the scanning, the front wide body, now the rear wide body, and now the side skirt. So all of those are gonna be all in one playlist, so you can go watch those and all your questions will be answered. What software I use, scanner, everything will be answered there. But if you have any more questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer every single one of them. I don't get that many comments yet, so pretty good with answering comments. So, and if you're still watching, Black Friday sale for dingdongdrift.com starts this Friday, 17th. The entire website will be 30% off. Hoodies, shirts, and I got beanies coming as well. All the prints, files, everything, absolutely the entire website is 30% off. So make sure you don't miss that. It will be going until November 31st. So plenty of time to buy some stuff. That's gonna wrap up this video, Ding Dongs. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
America, beautiful. Do you have your passport? Did you get your